Imagine a 60-something actor, once the face of a massive television franchise, sitting in a dark room illuminated by the blue light of a smartphone as he demands the arrest of 20-something internet comedians. This is Mukesh Khanna. Decades after playing India's most iconic superhero, Shaktimaan, he has reinvented himself as a digital moral authority, specifically targeting the new generation of creators. The conflict pits the heavily gate-kept, sanitized television industry of the 1990s against the unfiltered, hyper-democratic, and highly lucrative modern comedy landscape, led by giants like Kapil Sharma. This collision is a direct struggle over who dictates morality and who owns the right to entertain the public in the 21st century. When a star treats their past monopoly as a permanent moral mandate, their refusal to adapt often sabotages the very legacy they are trying to protect. The first sign of this tension is a dissolving boundary between the actor's real life and their fictional history. Khanna appears to have internalized his savior persona, behaving as if a 20-year-old television role grants him a unique form of constitutional authority today. He frames modern comedic performances as literal criminal acts, suggesting that these creators should be jailed or publicly humiliated for jokes that offend his sensibilities. This behavior suggests a deep-seated belief that fictional righteousness translates into real-world legal power, a byproduct of an era where TV stars were treated as infallible idols. To understand why this entitlement exists, we have to look at the Monopoly hangover left behind by the television era. Stars of the 90s were forged in a period of absolute broadcast monopoly. With only a few channels, they commanded the nation's attention by default. Audiences in this era had no algorithmic choice. They were a captive demographic, consuming whatever the network executives chose to air. Today's digital landscape offers algorithmic freedom. Audiences actively choose their entertainment, allowing individual creators to build massive fan bases entirely outside the old network system. The older generation often fails to recognize this shift. Instead of accepting that the public has more options, they assume the audience has been corrupted by the new content. Often, the narrative of protecting the culture serves as a convenient mask for a more personal grievance, professional irrelevance. While the legacy star's relevance remains stagnant, modern comedians command massive ticket sales and organic engagement. The scale is undeniable. These creators sell millions of premium tickets without traditional studio backing, operating in a market the old guard no longer controls. There is a certain irony in legacy stars acting as moral police, given that their own industry was always driven by commercial spectacle and ratings. For an aging star, manufacturing a moral panic can be an effective way to avoid acknowledging that they have simply been outpaced by a free market. The fame life cycle is indifferent to sentiment. An entertainer cannot treat an audience as permanent property. The children who once idolized a TV superhero grew up and faced adult complexities. Their tastes evolved, shifting away from the moral simplicity of 90s television. Even at the peak of global superstardom, figures like Michael Jackson eventually saw their audiences fracture and move toward new cultural movements. Today, fading stars risk falling into digital echo chambers, surrounding themselves with mechanical agreement that hides the reality of their declining influence. Longevity in entertainment requires either evolving with the times or stepping aside with dignity. By aggressively attacking the new era, legacy stars often fulfill the ultimate digital prophecy: you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.